Hello everyone. Can you see and hear me? Have we recovered? Let me know in the chat so I know I'm not talking to myself. How are we doing? I just got a notification on my phone that we went live, so that's a good sign. Who's here? Loads of people. Adam, James, Andrew, Mark Dorney, Ollie Blake, Colin Cooper the GOAT. You're not wrong. Loud and lewd and clear. Brilliant. Is that like the Scottish version? Lovely. Disaster for me this week, guys. Disaster. I know you're all rooting for me, really, right? I only got 69 points. The luck's run out. This is a bit off the cuff, this stream. Been working, booked half a day's leave. Basically, if I was going to do it later, it was going to clash with FPL as well. So this is really the only time I could do it, or have like 5 people watching. So I haven't had any prep at all. So everything we discover now is going to be new to me as well. And yeah, we'll see what we can do. But yeah, let me just talk you through my decisions quickly, just so you can laugh at me more than anything. Make yourself feel better. Basically, I was going to run with playing Jensen and Wilcox. And I decided for some reason, well, I know why, that I didn't really want to play Jensen. I only had one Man United in Van Nistelrooy as captain, which obviously, I mean, everyone had that. But only one Man United going into a double. And I was pretty scared. I couldn't really get to a midfield without about a -8, unless I went Emerson. So I decided Jensen was getting subbed off early a lot. Do I really want double Charlton? Often saw him getting subbed early in my sim, so I thought I'm putting him down for a 1-pointer. So you know my style, attack it. So I've got to do a -4 somewhere. Now Hippier had obviously been sent off in the cup and was therefore banned for 3 matches after the home to Charlton though. So I decided, right, I'm just going to take a -4, get rid of him. I miss out on that Charlton game, so I don't have to play Jensen, and I'll pick a Man United defender. I don't think they'll keep 2 clean sheets, but they might get 1, and it's just in case, right? And of course, to be different, I went Gary Neville rather than Silvestre, and that was a tragedy. No clean sheets. In fact, he got subbed on and then conceded 2. So in the end, I think I'm about 12 points down on that move, because I would have obviously played Jensen, and I'd now have Hippier for a home to Charlton game instead of got Gary Neville, where I don't even know whether he'll play. So I completely balls that up. It's all my own fault. It was the fear of missing out. I thought I have to at least have double Man United. Turns out I only needed Van Nistelrooy really. And the other 2 moves I considered actually were Wilcox. I had 0.5 in the bank. Was Wilcox to Emerson. But I decided I wouldn't want to do that because that still resulted in me playing Jensen. So that kind of defeated the object. Obviously that would have been great. And the other one, believe it or not, and I've got proof on my Discord if you don't believe me, was to go to Colin Cooper. Was to switch to Hippier to Colin Cooper and play him, and then that would give me the money to change either Salakovic or Joe Cole to Beckham. So in the end that wouldn't have been great because obviously Beckham did nothing and both Salakovic and Joe Cole did something. However, I would have had Colin Cooper who's got like 17 points. So in a way, yeah, I'm disappointed I didn't do that, but I'm also happy because no doubt people would be screaming cheat at me if I'd have managed to fluke that one. I think the luck's officially run out, guys. Melchiot sent off, Hippier off. There's only 5 weeks left and I've got to sort out swapping both those guys in between blanks and doubles. So, bit of a tragedy. But anyway, enough about me. Hi Irons, number 2 twat in the house. Yeah, well, I'm definitely a twat this week. People saying they got a jammy Jensen off the bench for Shearer, Ollie. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's a little bit jammy, the fact that he scored, I guess. But at the same time, I mean, if Shearer had played that home game, probably hitting 2 or 3 goals, right? I was crapping myself about that. So I got a little bit lucky not even having him, I guess. Oh, it's banning twat. Let me show the word twat. I love how number 1 stuck his neck out with recommending McPhail this week. Number 1 twat. Yeah, McPhail was a good pick. He got an assist, didn't he? My pick was Carboni. He did well. Unfortunately, I didn't have him. Anyway, let's get on with it then, guys. So, Charlton and Derby. Absolute goal fest in my Sims. Turned out to be a goal fest. Keeper's not particularly good. Remember, I'm discovering this all for the first time, so maybe it won't be quite as fluid. Nothing massively stands out here. Mark Fish did okay. Quite a few tackles, but man of the match with an 8. Jason Ewell and Bartlett. I still think moving forward, no one's going to go there, but in particular this man, I guess. I think he's going to continue to do well, finish the season strong. I'd expect to see another 3 or 4 goals before the season's out from him, I think. Yeah, and Santa Claus does it again just when you need him. It's a pretty good return. I mean, it's comparable to most midfielders in the game. Wilcox has been dreadful. Well, he's been very good, and then he's been dreadful. You know what I mean. Derby, they trolled us, didn't they, with the team news. Tonton Zola Makoku. That's another move I considered, actually. Just getting rid of Chadwick for a -4 just to get this guy in because they leaked he started. I thought, this guy's got to go off. I know they love him. And I know it's a goal fest. So I was actually close to doing that. And he got no points. Guys, stop playing at my heartstrings with your leaks. It's not fair. Valakari got a load of passes here. He's done the well, actually he did get a return. Valakari is the master of picking up assists and goals, but not playing particularly well. But this time he seems to have played well. But he did get a return as well, so fair play. So Derby's formations just often give up the flank, so I was hoping that Wilcox would do something. It turns out I think Kinsella did pretty well, didn't he? Yeah, he got an assist, so it just came from the opposite flank. A little bit unlucky, I guess. Leicester and Blackburn. Jerry Ferry fails right at the end, but this is what you can bank on. If Leicester are at home, this guy's hitting an 8 basically as a minimum. And you always know you're getting that bonus. David Weatherall, again, another one every time he's at home is a similar story, really. Really like him. As is Berg and Curtis, quite often. But Dennis Wise with the 2 goals this time. Didn't see that come in. Won loads of tackles in midfield here. 2 shots, 2 goals. And Scowcroft with the assist. Adam saying didn't fancy leaking Newcastle when they had United away. To be fair, I mean, I wasn't involved in anything, and Andy can vouch for that. Knew nothing about this week at all. But surely they can't leak the full Newcastle team has been rotated. It would have just forced everyone to do the same thing. I think it's probably too big a news, so I kind of understand that. In fact, the only really big news leak they've ever given us is the Man United full team when they rep 12. But that was in a blank week where we only had like 6 teams playing and FPL had just started. So, you know, everyone would have just been thoroughly depressed having 6 players. It would have been a complete washout. So I understand that one. Fair enough, gives some juicy leaks, but that was probably too big. And in the end, it kind of worked out for a lot of you, right? Because a lot of your bench players did well. So fair play. Let's skip over Blackburn. There isn't too much to say. I do actually like Blackburn moving forward. Their games are really good. Home to Southampton this week. Lots of good options there. Middlesbrough and Bolton. Obviously Bolton part of the double and pretty much the heroes of it. But as you can see, they were largely outplayed here. 58% to Middlesbrough. A lot more shots. So Bolton got a little bit lucky. Festa. Look at this. He's taken over from Ekyog. That's a proper Ekyog performance, that is. Afternoon Pirlo's pen. Marinelli, the guy who seems to always play pretty well when he actually gets a go, obviously did well. Johnston, although he got an assist because he got credited with... Did he win the free kick? I think he won the free kick. He didn't actually get an assist in-game. So technically the postman is still shite. Lost his mail, dog ate it, etc. But I suppose no one cares how he gets them. And Mark Platt's starting for Middlesbrough. What are they up to? What are they doing? That whole rep thing is just a joke, isn't it? I mean, he's shocking. I don't understand why they're playing him. To be fair, probably does better than Johnston at left wing. Johnston was on the right and he got his return, even though he didn't get his return. Marinelli once dubbed the new Maradona. I must have missed that, but there's been a few of those. Yeah, so what was there to say about Bolton? Colin Cooper, absolute hero, but he's been a hero for weeks in terms of bonus. 7.54, one of the highest rated defenders in the game. You know what you're getting with him. 35, doesn't matter, turns out every week. Adam France, plenty of Rep 12. Stop stealing my lines, Adam. Stop stealing my lines. We'll talk about that in a bit. Yeah, Bruno Shearer, the new Zidane, James. I remember that. Not even close. And even Pedersen returned in the double. So if anyone went for him, fair play. Good effort. Rob Lee too. I think Dave called him out on the stream. Pretty sure he liked him. 5 million. Can't really go wrong. 3 shots, 2 on target. 1 goal. Wasn't even a pen. So he could have had an absolute haul. We know how pens work in this game. Throw in a pen on top of this and monster score. We're going to spend very little time here because no one's got them. Southampton, not particularly good. 2 shots on target. They actually scored with one of them. Yeah, I don't think anyone's got any of the players, so I'm going to skip past that. Beattie did well in the air. Lundegvam did well in the air. Hey, Sean. Glad you could join us. That's the creator of the site, everyone. Sean Komisky. Show him some love. And Villa here. Defensively, Alpi did pretty well. Dublin did okay. 4 shots, 4 on target. A goal. I mean, did more than okay, but in terms of the rest of his attributes, wasn't particularly good for him. Shout out, I think I like Steve Stone going forward. He's 5 million, playing on the right wing nearly every game, and quite often gets penalties. When Alan Wright's not playing, though, that's the only thing. And I think Wright was suspended, so there's a chance he won't be on them when he comes back. But shout out also Ginola, who has been playing very well of late. I think Iron shouted him out on the pod. Didn't start this one, but if he can get that place, he does do well on the wing, as you can see. Got an 8 here in less than 45 minutes. They've got a few cheeky games fill up. Iron saying his team to avoid was Bolton on the podcast, and you can see why he's dropped down. I mean, I don't think many people would have disagreed with your pick there. Picking a double's brave, but no one expected that, right? 20 sims I did the Bolton Man United game, and in one of the sims it was 2-0 to Bolton. I suppose we got the 1 of 20 chance then. Typical, eh? West Ham and Leeds, and people were surprised with my sim data on this, where it showed that West Ham, there was 1.75 goals on average to West Ham and 1.7 to Leeds, and that was with West Ham having no strikers. It just shows you how bad Leeds' defence can be away from home, that it almost doesn't matter. And although they had this guy up front, who is terrible, and who else did they play up front? Kitson. We're getting a few games up front, I think. Obviously not particularly good either. It didn't really matter. They still managed to get the goals. Had more of the play, had more of the shots. Deserved. In fact, if it wasn't for David James playing a 5, they had 5 shots on target, so he saved 2 and let in 3. Classic David James with the old 13 handling. If West Ham had had a decent keeper, I mean, I know most of their team's been bad, but if they had a decent keeper, it would have made such a difference over the season. Especially when the likes of Canute and all these guys can absolutely fire. It's just been a really, really unlucky season from them. And my man Joe Cole, taking all his shots, another goal. Thank you, because without you, I'd have had an even worse game week. Might take him out this week though. We shall see. As for Leeds, it's more about their lineup than anything. This is a return to basically pre-season. This was the expected lineup. This is the lineup that should play the majority of games. In terms of the defence as well, you'd only really bring in Rio Ferdinand here for Woodgate, and that is basically their strongest team. So that's nice to see. As you can see though, in any given game, you've got, I mean, it's not always the same subs, but you've got Matteo, who can play in midfield. You've got Berkovic, who can play in midfield. You've got Batty, who can play in midfield. And obviously Dubri's a defender. So the worry is whether McPhail drops in and out, whether Kuehl drops in and out. I mean, they all will rotate a little bit, I think. So hard to judge Leeds on this sim. But there's always the worry that someone gets subbed as well. And as they've got so many midfielders, you would expect it would be a midfielder. That's the only thing. Martin saying he still prefer. Yeah, I mean, obviously when you're playing the game, you go for the young up and comer, right? He gets pretty good. Robinson. You don't play a 35-year-old. Maybe for the first season, maybe, but often not. Sorry if you can hear the Hoover in the background. That's my cleaner, by the way. Yeah, and it's because of this. See, Leeds play attacking direct away from home, which is not usually a good shout because it leaves them wide open. Let's move on. Viduka, absolute tank. I mean, he didn't even play that well in this game, to be fair. I mean, he got 2 key headers. Didn't do a whole lot else. 4 shots, those decent. 2 on target, 2 goals, so you can't argue. Guy's going to end on like 35 goals or something stupid. Right, Man United Ipswich. I'm interested to see this one because it's a bit of a puzzler. I don't know how Bartes has got a 9, so we're going to have a look in that in a second. As for Ipswich, Ariderson not doing his usual. He did okay, but he won about 50% here of his things. Gunnarsson's done okay since he came in. Ipswich were actually not too bad. 6 shots, 3 on target. Scored 1, so Bartes made 2 saves. And it's 9 and 7 for Man United. The game was fairly equal. Not a bad showing from Ipswich overall then, but obviously still conceded 3. Now let's look. Bartes, okay, so he's got 4 tackles, 4-1, 4 key. So that probably explains where he got his 9. He's also got a key header. So rushing out of his goal to tackle and head. That sounds like Bartes, doesn't it? So he still only actually made, was it 2 saves I said? Yeah, 2 saves. Well, it's a flawed system. We don't even know for sure they're saves. It could have been block shots if they're on target. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And I suppose it's come from those key tackles and headers more than anything else. Don't want to discuss Gary Neville. He can jog on. Emerson, what a beast. Assist and a goal, 6 million. It's too cheap, guys. Yeah, didn't do particularly well for his stats in this game, but it's that new signing thing. It's so hard to replicate in Sims. You can see he's got 17 for set pieces here, so there was always a small chance he could get them. However, Beckham's are a lot higher. I think I saw in the comms today he took a free kick. I don't think you can read too much from that because it depends where it is on the pitch. Usually the closer ones, the likes of Beckham will take them. The far away ones, anyone can take them. They don't want their forward people dropping all the way back to take a free kick from behind the halfway line, etc. So, not sure on that. Van Nistelrooy headers again. This is his thing, isn't it? When you see the attempts here, 24, that just shows you how many chances they're creating. Away from home, they nearly always struggle to win them. He's done pretty well to get 10 and 3 key headers here. But that is just a sign of, yes, this team is creating a whole bunch of chances. So, Van Nistelrooy, assist, 2 goals, 10. You can't ask for more than that, can you? Fair play. Andy Cole disappointing, but I think at this time, the 61st minute he came off, so they were actually only just 2-1 up. And, you know, as we can see here, Ipswich were having more of the play, so it could be one of those things where, you know, they're not playing particularly well at that point, and they just change it up. FPL captain saying Emerson surely first to go when Veron's back. You would have thought so. He's only, I mean, yeah, he's pretty much a stopgap. Veron's nailed when he's fit, unless it's a reputation game. And then it will be between him and Keane, and Keane's the better player. So again, unless it's a reputation thing, I would expect Keane to start ahead, or if Keane's banned. That can happen quite a lot. We may as well go straight on to the next game then. 118, Mark Dorney. It's close to double what I got. Fair play. Bolton killed it. Colin Cooper with the goal. Engelty with the assist. Stats wise, Hendry did pretty well as well. They all did good here. Jaskalainen only gets a 7 despite making 3 key tackles, so that's similar to Bartes, but Bartes got a 9. Don't ask me how. Maybe that key header's worth 2 points on your average rating. So maybe Jaskalainen known as pretty unlucky there. Maybe you made a mistake in the game as well. Mistakes knock you down, so maybe you made an error at some point. Obviously didn't lead to a goal though. As you can see for the attempts here, they only had 3 on target and 2 went in, so Bartes returned to his normal form and played a 5. So half his passes. This time he didn't win any key tackles or headers, and he shipped in 2 of the 3 shots. He only saved 2 of the, was it 3 or 4 in the last game, so again, I don't really understand why he's doing this. Bartes is actually, I mean, I slagged him off at the start of the season. He's not a great keeper, but he's not a terrible one either. But for us, he's just been awful. Absolutely awful. Stats for Man United. Emerson 3 shots, 1 on target. A little bit unlucky not to get a goal. He was all over the comms. Again, it's this situation of Man United weren't playing well, so they hooked their star player, or it wasn't going well. They were playing alright, it wasn't going well, and we've seen that with Henry and multiple other people. So yeah, if he stayed on the pitch, maybe other things could happen. Obviously, you're not doing well away to Bolton and you want to score some goals, then I would have thought you leave Van Nistelrooy on, right? As you can see here with the 14 headers, he was still getting the chances. But the AI doesn't think like that, unfortunately. Very disappointing from Andy Cole. Saw him do very well over these 2 in my sims, but wasn't to be, I guess. And Beckham, I'm not even sure how he's got an 8 here, to be honest. 2 key passes. I guess that's it. But yeah, expected a lot more from him. I just want to see who's actually been taking the free kicks, because people might be a bit worried about that Emerson thing. It says here Emerson struck the free kick. Corner kick, that was Beckham. That's to be expected. Let's see if we can get Beckham taking a free kick. Maybe they didn't get one in the area where he might take it. Shout me if you saw it, guys, but I haven't seen it. No, I can't see any other free kick mentioned apart from that one, so it's hard to know. That Hoover's really loud outside, guys, I'm sorry. Right, let's go on to Arsenal. Yeah, Liverpool were dreadful in this game for me on Sims, and that's proved to be the case. Had quite a few shots on target though, so could have nicked a goal. Arsenal defence finally actually keeping a clean sheet, and when they do, the likes of Seaman and Ashley Cole didn't actually get bonus in this, although I think Seaman got 1 save point, right? Adam English saying check comms for the first Man United game. That's a clever idea, we'll go back and do that in a sec. Yeah, Van Bronckhorst, I think a few people sold him for the double. You probably were going to do that if you wanted to switch to a Man United mid. That's unfortunate, but he's one of my pre-season picks, Van Bronckhorst, and now when you look, I mean, not in the league particularly, but overall 6 goals, 12 assists over 36 games. Most of it's come in Europe and the Cup. If only he'd have played more, but he's turned out to be an alright pick, and you know, moving forward Arsenal have got some great games, so I do actually still really like him as an option. I think he could continue to do well. Never seems to be explosive, but always seems to get a bonus and maybe ship him with 1 attack in return. Quite like him. Thierry Henry quietly having a good season as well. I mean, it's not comparable to Van Nistelrooy and some of the 10 million strikers, but with the bonus points, the man of the matches and stuff, he still can do pretty good. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, because I think Arsenal's games to the end of the season are still pretty good. Tottenham, Fulham, Sunderland, Bolton, Man United's tough obviously, and then Villa. Man United may even be in rotation mode by then. So cheeky differential there, I think, to go for a few Arsenal boys. Chelsea and Sunderland, I don't even want to look at Melchior. Chelsea, I mean, they won 3-1. Could have been more by the look of it. Utter domination. Red cards obviously changed the game slightly, and they played, what's that, nearly 30 minutes with 10 men. Obviously Sunderland ended up with 10 as well, but 1 less player for sort of 30 minutes of the game and still dominated it. So that could have been a crazy game. Yes, I got this guy's hat-trick, but then I benched his 14 points last week, and then I played him this week for a red card. So he's slowly chipping back away. And now I've got to get rid of the guy, because he's going to be out for 3 games. Who will play at right back while he's out, Adam Sands says. Well, I would imagine it's going to be Gallas. Terry will come into centre back and Gallas will play right back. That would be my thought. There's also Ferreira, who came on in this game. He can occasionally go there as well, but I think Gallas is ahead of him. And Jimmy Floyd popped out of nowhere, didn't he? And did very, very well again. 5 key headers. I mean, this is a great game to play, to be fair. But awful season for him. But in the last 2 games where he's come in, he's actually done pretty well. I can't remember what the other game was now. Where are they leaks that he'd start? He scored and assisted, I think. I've been home to Bolton or something like that. Sunderland wasn't really anything to say. They were just dreadful. Didn't do anything. Barely touched the ball. 9 passes for Arca. Sibben. 11 for Phillips. Shocking. 6 passes for Emerson Tone as a centre-back in 77 minutes. How do you even manage that? They just didn't have the ball for a second. Chelsea very under the radar. Oh, I forgot to pick up my Carboni pick as well. Scored a goal. I think people have still got the memories of what Chelsea were like, but they've really sorted it out for quite a while now, and people still aren't taking notice. I think we should be, personally. Everton and Spurs. I don't think much happened from the comms. Yeah, look, there's not much. 2 shots, 2 on target. It's probably the only chance Tottenham have ever got to keep a clean sheet. Is the opponent just do not shoot. And that seems to be the case here. 8 and 6 is a really good ratio though, and you know, away from home, if you've got 50% or over, then you're doing pretty well. So Spurs have done well here. Selakovic getting bonus and nearly keeled over, but obviously he got an attacking return which will have helped buff that. He actually only completed roughly half his passes here, look. So that's dreadful. Giving the ball away all over the place. Headers, not much either. Surprised because he played AMC, but as to how he got so many passes. So to me that suggests that although he started at AMC, I'm not sure he actually played there for the game. I think I've shown you guys multiple times how they can switch about in the game. Poirier can go up there, Anderson can go up front, Rebrov can come at AMC. He may have played different. I mean, because there was a lot of subs, every time they make a sub, they can move the people, and there was a lot here. So Fortune 51, Rosinsky 53, Gravison 60, Everson 69. So there's a chance that he played in 4 or 5 positions during the game, because I wouldn't expect to see that high level of passes in that position, and then missed, and then a load of headers as well. So he's either in centre midfield or up front for periods, I would suggest. Rebrov's quietly been doing okay the last 2 games, isn't he? Back-to-back 9s. I think that's back-to-back man of the matches and goals. I think, again, if you're looking for differentials, I don't like this game for Spurs at home to Arsenal. Arsenal usually win this. I want to get a quick look. Chelsea's obviously not a good game at all. But then after that, you've got the home to Newcastle, away to West Ham, home to Leicester, away to Charlton. I do like that a lot. So I think there's room there to move to a Rebrov, a Poyet, a Selakovic. Are you guys still here? Chat's gone quiet. Hope you are. Let me know. Type something. Newcastle and Fulham. Obviously a full rotation here from Newcastle. Hello. I'm worried now. Oh right. Yeah, you're still there. Still shocked by the silent Newcastle team. Yeah, this was a turn up for the books, right? It's pretty much a full rotation of their team. I mean, Dabizas hasn't been playing for ages. I'd say Chettel's probably the only, and Bernard rotates anyway. So you'd say Given, Chettel, Basidas are probably the only 3 that are, you know, pretty much nailed on first teamers. And Chettel, that's probably generous. So it was Derby have done this twice now, I think. Man United probably 3 times. This is full team rotation I'm talking. Arsenal have done it once in the double. And really, guys, it's just home to a poor side. A side with a low reputation, 12 or 13, gives you the chance. Obviously, when the team is much better than the other team, there's a higher chance. So, like Man United, obviously doing it more because they're better than everyone else. But otherwise, the lower teams will never get a chance to rest and rotate their team and play some of the squad players. So it can't just be that there's such a massive difference. It literally has to be that the opponents are weak. You know, the weakest teams in the league would literally play the same 11 every week. It'd be built into the AI to do so. They would never have such a gap. So they just have to have it that when they're playing someone, that they are a low rep. So that's why it kind of happens. James Nelson saying, did anyone get injured in the cup game before this match? We're going to look at that in a minute, and the answer is yes. However, it probably wouldn't have affected this. Don't know for sure. And yeah, Fulham, in terms of the match stats here, I had Newcastle battering Fulham in this, and obviously with the team it changed things a little bit. Fulham probably unlucky not to come away with a result. Again, not bad on the play. 8 shots, 3 off target. Hey Planet FPL. Hi James. Thanks for jumping in. Louis Saha did pretty well, stats wise. That's about it, really. Right, what was I going to do quickly? I was going to look at Man United Ipswich and see who was taking free kicks. If you're not interested, entertain yourselves. Beckham swung in a corner. Beckham whipped in a corner. Beckham took the corner. Another corner. Jesus, how did he not get an assist in this game? Can't see it at the moment. Doesn't look like there's going to be a single free kick. That's noted anyway. Nope, not even one for Emerson. Doesn't look like there was any free kicks in the game for Man United. There's only 2 fouls by Ipswich. So they're obviously not free kicks match report worthy, or I missed them. Will Stolsters ever score again, says Adam. Well, he's not really prolific, is he? His appeal is the fact that he plays virtually every game and can occasionally chip in. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to see at least... Well, I wouldn't like to see because I don't have him, but I would expect he'd probably get at least 1 more goal before the season's out. In fact, you'd have to say home to West Ham is a pretty good opportunity for that. Under the new manager, which we shall see soon. Right, let's go to the cup games quickly then, guys. So, as you can see, the final is actually Sunderland versus Everton, to a surprise. The 2 underdogs won their semi-final. This happened on Sunday the 7th. So during the week we just had, obviously that's what caused a lot of the games to go to Wednesday. So if we look at Arsenal and Sunderland first of all, Arsenal played close to a full team, a little bit of rotation. They dropped it. They didn't play Henry. They dropped Grimandi in here at centre half, and they played Tikhonov, who doesn't always play, and they even rested Cole. So it's that whole rep of the cup not being as high. Pennant. What do I mean close to a full team? It's not anywhere near a full team, is it? So they basically rotated in a semi-final of the FA Cup due to the cup reputation not being as high and being home to a weak side. Well, not home. Actually, it's neutral, isn't it? Playing a weak side. So, yeah, I think that's obviously cost them, isn't it? And Kevin Phillips still managed to get a goal. And Sunderland are through. In fact, did they rotate a little bit? They didn't play Arca. They played Leslandis. So they were both at it. Didn't rotate as heavily though, Sunderland. God, even in 2001, 2002, people weren't taking the cup seriously. Who'd have thought? Right. In this game, Newcastle played the team you would probably expect them to play. Gave Shearer a rest in the 62nd minute. They're 1-0 down. You need to score a goal to win in the semi-final. And you take off Shearer in the 62nd minute. Nice. Dyer dead. Someone said, oh yeah, good point, Adam. Dyer's not there. So again, I think you've just seen it in the other games though. Everyone seems to be at it in terms of the rotation. You could even argue that Everton have done it. Steve Watson, Joe Max more often can play. Kevin Campbell can. You could say for midfield as well, the likes of Gaza and the keeper Simonson. They sometimes play the other guy, don't they? So I think all 4 of the teams didn't take it seriously. Newcastle were the closest to take it seriously. Did Dyer die, or is Dyer not dead? It's a bit of a tongue twister. James Nelson, not Sir Bobby's greatest week in management. No, definitely not. So the FA Cup final is actually on the 11th of May. I do not believe this causes any issues though, because I think it's in a week where no other teams play. But we'll click through the games in a second. Could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't cause any sort of upsets. I know Adam France and Andy Martin are good at the fixtures, so maybe they can confirm that, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't mean anything. These were the cup average ratings. Viduka with a 10. He must have only played I played 5 games. Oh no, that includes all cups, of course. So that's League Cup as well. So maybe only played 1 FA Cup game. No Hibs, it's not daily. We're playing fantasy football version of this. And we do it twice a week for the 2 game weeks that we have. But thanks for joining. Adam's saying it's all good for the games. Yeah, so let's look. So this week, we've got all the games happening imminently. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's all 10 people are playing just today. I'm just going to click through. So then we've got 4 days. And then these guys play on the Wednesday. So that's 34, isn't it? We've then got 35, which is a bit split out between Saturday and Sunday. And that's got some blanks in it. We then got 36. Where the Monday night game is Arsenal and Bolton. And these are the doubles at the moment. So Man United, Everton and Fulham and Chelsea. The Man United Everton game is subject to change depending on the Champions League. And then we're back to normal, I think, unless Man United's game moves. And then the final day. So yeah, the cup final's on the 11th. So that's in between this and this. So it shouldn't cause any issues. Right. Let's get on to the teams. Let's get on to the carnage. How does it work, Hibs? It's too long for me to explain it here, but yeah, we have a website. We pick players just like the real FPL works or any fantasy football works, and we run a simulation of the game to see what happens. It's just like real football, except more fun because it's CM. Nostalgic craziness. We love it. Arsenal then. So Upson, this is a new injury. He's out for 3 months, so his season's done. Probably a good thing for the likes of Campbell and Ashley Cole owners, just in case. Lundberg is 86%. 10 days to go. Low condition, we have Bergkamp at 84%. Henry at 94%. Cole's impending ban seems to have disappeared. I think that's because it went past March, or it could be that random bug, but he's good. And everyone else is okay. Someone bang the link to the site for Hibs in the chat. You're too late to join this year, I think, but we'll probably be doing it again. I'm sure you're more than welcome. I'm not actually one of the creators of the game, but I'm involved in it. Aston Villa. Not many people got these guys, but we're looking good for this game week. Only Control on 91%. Everyone else okay? Blackburn. Damien Duff's picked up an injury, 2 weeks with a twisted knee. Mahon out for about a week. Everyone else is okay. Home game against Southampton. It's looking good. Home game against Southampton's always fun. So quite like quite a lot of their options actually. Janssen, 2 guy, Grabby at home can do well. Weatherall, all the centre backs. I think they've got lots of options. Not a massive fan of De Boer, as you can see here. This is why. Bolton, the heroes of the double game week. Bergson's injured, 3 months. Marshall, 2 months. Gardner, 84%. Chelsea at home. So, can play on that. For sure he can play on that, but that's a worry. Iron saying, is Janssen worth one of the striker spots? It's a good question. You're talking to the wrong person, because I like to punt on the likes of Boxic and Heskey and random people at Saha. I've punted on loads of mid-price strikers in good matchups, some of which have worked, some haven't. I guess it depends how many fires you've got as to whether you can make the moves. And yeah, moving away from the likes of Viduka, Van Nistelrooy, Henry, Phillips is just, it's a risk every game virtually. But there are some games where you can target it, I think. Last week, Phillips away to Chelsea. That was a perfect example. I pretty much knew he was getting 2 points. People saying, bye Gardner, thanks for the last game. One more reason to ship him out. He did alright this week though, didn't he? Did he get bonus? Played a 9. Must have got bonus. But yeah, he's been largely dreadful. Let's move on. Charlton. Jonathan Fortune, 2 weeks. Chris Powell, 1 week. Hamstring. Everyone else is over 90%. Dean Kiley serves his 1 match ban. So you better hope you got a backup keeper. I think, is it this Ben guy or something? Yeah, Ben Roberts. He's probably going to be the keeper that plays. Against Liverpool, away. So, the likes of Michael Owen for 1 week, you would have thought would be a pretty good bet. Or for any of the Liverpool midfielders, if you can work out which one's going to play. Charlton often sell Kiley and bring in someone. Ben Roberts can actually play there as well, yeah. Don't know how many random stats he's got, but he doesn't look particularly good. But to be honest, Kiley's not usually particularly good either. Smashed it though. But you'll be happy. Fortune being out kind of helps Rufus, I guess, Adam. Although I think you might have sold him now. Can't remember. Okay. Chelsea, they've been hit a little bit. Petit is out for 3 months, so that's his season done. Again, another guy who can often be on penalties, so that takes him out of the picture, leaving Carbone probably the main man for pens, and then obviously Melchior, who randomly picked up a pen the other day. But Melchior, unluckily for me, it's 3 match ban starting on the 24th. Plans in tatters. So on the 24th, this is where they would have had their double. Man United, Fulham. So he's going to miss, these 3 games here. He'll be back for the final day of the season. I think that's right. So probably going to keep him for Bolton and Tottenham, and then worry about it afterwards, in the hope that he jams another pen or something. But Terry's 100%. Gronkyo's out for 2 weeks with a calf strain. Stanic is also out for 2 weeks. That also helps Carboni, I think. Yeah, Max saying damn Hippier now Melchior. Is that about me, or have you got that same luck as well? So it's all coming back. There's only so much luck someone can have, apparently. Ferreira's still there. And yeah, Gallas is okay, so he can come in. But the likes of Zenden and Carboni look a little bit better now. Stanic and Gronka are injured in particular. Not that other people can't play there. They can even play Zola right wing, believe it or not. I've seen that. But they've got a blank coming. Me, mate, yeah. Okay, I'm the only mug with both of them. Derby. These guys don't really play, do they? But Powell is still out for a week. 90%. Is it luck or skrill? Well, Well, I don't know. When your players get a red card out of the blue when they haven't got high dirtiness, I'd say that's luck, I guess. Who am I to comment? Yeah, everyone else looks good though for Derby. Valakari, one of the greatest midfielders ever to grace the game, apparently. We're all good. Not much injury news, is there, guys? Everton, no one cares. Gaz is out for a few days with damaged shoulder, injured during training. Perhaps that's why he didn't play the cup. Joe Max Moore a week with a broken jaw. A few low percenters here. Duncan Ferguson, 80%. Seen as though they were playing him when he was orange the whole time. And did they play in the last game? They did. So they might try and force him in at 80%. Ryan saying it's very bad skill when you try to be too clever and triple captain Ryan Giggs. No, I'm a fan of that at the end of the day. Unless you're in the top 10 or something and you're trying to secure your position, then what's to lose? You'd be saying something very different if Giggs banged 4 goals, which he's capable of, and Van Nistelrooy didn't do anything. Suddenly it's very good skill, right? The result influences our thought process so much. I mean, on paper, Van Nistelrooy is a better triple captain than Ryan Giggs, but sometimes you pick the worst option knowing that they're the worst option because it doesn't always go the way you expect, right? Fulham. The manager's the main talking point, but we'll get to that. So Kit Simmons, a few days. Davis is only a few days away, 90%. Peacock doesn't play, he's 15, 3 weeks. 20 for jumping. He's about 8 foot tall, but he can't move. Kind of sounds like 20 for strength. Kind of sounds like Maguire. Everyone else is all right. The unhappiness is all to do with their contracts and league positions and bits like this. Any guesses as to who the manager is? They tried to tease it, didn't they? About going up the M66. Has anyone got any guesses? Put them in the chat if you've got any guesses. I can't even give you clues because I haven't got a clue who it is. It's not David Moyes. It's not Souness. That'll be fun. No, it's not Keegan. I've never heard of the guy. But I don't really follow lower leagues. Someone from a lower league. Seaman. No. Zidane. No. I've heard of Zidane, believe it or not. Let's get the pain over. Kachul. It is Andy Ritchie. I have heard of Andy Ritchie actually. What am I talking about? That name rings a bell. But I don't really remember him. And here he is. The guys who run Sims take the information. Here it is. No preferred style of play, but likes to play the offside trap. Which doesn't necessarily mean they will play the offside trap, but it's nice to have a manager who might play the offside trap in our league because it can work, particularly against direct styles of play, of passing. So we'll have to see whether that actually happens and keep an eye on that. So what does this mean? It's still 4-4-2 for Fulham. So it's probably going to remain with the same players. It's much like we've seen before though. When a new manager comes in for the first 2 or 3 game weeks, there'll often be some random players thrown out there that you wouldn't expect. It's like they're working it out again, like the first 3 weeks we had. And then generally, as it's the same formation, I would expect you will see the exact same players that the previous manager was picking in the same formation. So the only thing that really is going to change is before they were a direct attacking style of play, and now they have no preferred style of play. So that's not good for their attacking assets. Probably a little bit better for their defensive assets. But it remains to see. I haven't run any sims to see how they actually play away from home. I imagine it will be more. It'll probably be defensive, which is a shame. But I don't know for sure. And he's obviously a much worse manager than Tigana in stats and style. Max saying Saha more nail probably. Again, no, I just addressed that. I don't think so. I don't think it will change. The first 3 weeks will be random. Problem is, after that, we've only got 2 more weeks before the thing ends, so we'll never probably get an answer. But it'll probably just maintain Boamorte and Sahar. You're never going to know who's going to play up front. That would be my thought process. They got knocked out in the cup, quarterfinals in the 3rd round. Where are Oldham? And they were 13th in Division 2. What a target. You're about to get relegated for the Premier League. You need a miracle. Go for the team 13th in Division 2's manager. Why not? But maybe you can do it. Maybe you can save them with no money. I mean, they've got good players. That's the thing. So, could do. Ipswich. Miller's out for a week. Magilton is out for 3 months. That's his season done. Zach Brannigan, 10 days. Everyone else is okay. Goal machine for Needy's still here. Look at this, guys. Scored a few of late. Playing alright. Peak age. Could get a few more before the season's out. Games aren't particularly good though. But he's like 5.5 midfielder. Could be a punt. Leeds. And they've largely escaped. Viduka's 100. Ferdinand is only 10 days away, 90%. So could come in. Jakob out for a week, 85%. Maybury is 72, which is probably a very good thing if you're a Kelly or a Bowyer owner or backer. Bridges and Smith are fine, Adam. We'll discuss that at the end. I'm going to discuss that in a sec, Rory. There's a chance, I think, for a lot of these teams. Where did I get to? Leicester, yeah. So Leicester, Akinbaye's out for a few days. Good if you still got Sturridge and Scowcroft, although he is 90%. And Izzet is 10 days. He's actually 6%. Beep. Beep. Someone get a crash cart. Groin is taking it out of him. Rips in the chat, please. Everyone else is alright. Oak suspended. Still not even there. Liverpool. Jamie Redknapp, 2 weeks. One of the original sick notes. Mellors a few days with a bruised head. Not surprising when he's got 20 for heading, 20 for jumping, 20 for strength, 20 for determination. Just headed through a brick wall for a laugh. Owens 100%. Gerald 95, Berger 90, Carragher 93, Charlton at home. Lots of people set for debuts. They've obviously had their youth players come through. Yeah. Ian Morris. Doesn't look too bad. See if any of these guys are any good. Could be alright, but midfield left. No. 24 off the ball and pace. 17 acceleration. Maybe a little bit of promise there for him. Colin Smith. When we're playing this in 30 years, guys, get Colin Smith in. Obviously, yeah, against the Dean Kyleless Charlton. Everyone plays the same day this week. Chris. Man United. So York is still 3 weeks with his broken arm. Katie Price weighs a lot. Stewart is out for a month with a torn groin, and there's a little bit of low percentage, but surprisingly, Veron is 90% and orange. Although it says he's unavailable for 2 weeks because he's attending physiotherapy, technically he can play this game. It's not something I've come across, this unavailable to attend physiotherapy by an opponent. And like I say, when you manage the game, you don't really look out for that. If you are sending someone for physiotherapy, you don't play people when they're orange. So it's not something you consider. But I guess technically he can play this game. Will he? I mean, it's home to Newcastle. Probably not, but there's a chance. Which means the likes of Emerson could drop out, I guess. I don't know what else to say. Dennis Irwin is 87%. That's probably pretty good news if you're a Sylvester owner. I mean, how can he be unavailable for 2 weeks but he's attending physiotherapy yet he's orange? I'll be very interested to see whether he gets a game. Because I mean, he's technically not even really injured, is he? If he's just attending a spa and getting grapes and his head massaged. Who knows? That's a curveball. Middlesbrough. They've got some injuries, as you can see, guys, but the only one of note is Paul Ince. He's 1 day with a broken toe, yet he's 57%. So that toe is obviously vastly important to him. Yeah, that's I mean, we're told he's out for a month. James saying, brilliant, whoever dropped him in the draft league. Told he's out for a month, and he's back after what? Was it 1 week or something? I think technically there's been about 1 game he's missed now. Well, 2 games because of the double, but 1 game week, I think. But who knows? And if he plays, he's orange, right? So technically he can get re-injured. He's obviously heavily injured if he's having to go to physiotherapy, but there we go. 100% for Fester and Boxic, Southgate, all the main men. Fergie needs to have a word. Fergie's the one who sent him away. He's agreed to it. And then he's asked him to come back. He's obviously had a change of heart. Anyone still sat with Shearer in their team? Because this is the headline news. Massive trolling from Big Al. But I don't think many people would have wanted to play him away to Man United. So first of all, he misses the most plum game of all time. And then he gets injured whilst he was at home eating his kebab, as Adam said, during the game. Rip to the big man. 17 goals in 24 games. Whenever he takes to the pitch, he's pretty much gold. Broken toe. What else could it be? What a fitting end to the legend that is Alan Shearer. He broke his toe. But it wasn't at home. He actually got injured, as you can see here, in the 1-0 defeat against Everton. So in the Cup, he did get subs. Remember, 62nd minute. Doesn't actually come up as an injury, but that's where he picked up the injury. Sometimes in the game, players pick up injuries, but it doesn't say. And if you actually click on them during the game and you go to the screen, it will say 4-match ban. Okay. Didn't even know that, but there we go. Oh yeah, he got red carded, didn't he? Four-match ban starting on the 14th of the 4th. He's only been in the league a little while. He got 2 red. He must have had 2 reds. James Nelson saying I was going to have to hang on to him versus United. The game is killing me. Yeah, that's why he was subbed early, Rob Reed, probably. More than Bobby being on a mad one. Out for a month attending hair replacement treatment, says Marcos. Shearer probably still had hair at this point. Or close to it. But yeah, it's only 2 weeks. So, and it's a broken toe. And we know that Newcastle play Shearer when he's orange. They've done it all season, causing him injury most of the time. So if we go 2 weeks from here, we're on the 13th. 27th is technically the day he's 100% home to Villa. However, away to Tottenham, I could see him playing that one. I mean, there's even a tiny outside chance if he goes orange, he's home to Bolton and he can play that one. And maybe get re-injured. So there is that. The annoying thing about this is nearly everyone's going to now go to the same front three, aren't they? I mean, and come over to Phillips, I would have thought, if they were on him. But there's also the likes of Janssen, etc. out there. So I think there's opportunity if you want to be different. But that's probably Shearer. I mean, I suppose you could risk him. You could bench him if you wanted to. But it's a power position. I probably wouldn't want to do that. And then hope he just comes back early on an orange. Because he has got some good games. Why is Dyer unhappy? Usually for either the contract or position. Oh, he dislikes Laurent Robert. Okay, yes, it's finally happened. I think I called this out pre-season that Robert pisses people off eventually. And everyone gets mad at him. Robert is a disruptive influence. So it's happened. Has vented his feelings publicly, thinking of moving clubs. He's a fucking shit, he is, Robert. Yeah, this happens so often with Robert towards the end of the season. So I'm glad it's happened. So yeah, everyone's pretty annoyed at him. Oh, Bellamy doesn't not like him. The person you do expect to have the bust up with is his best friend. Everyone else thinks he's a homesick, thinking moving club, wants first team football. Poor Bobby. He's got a load of prima donnas in his team. Didn't even put any effort in the semi-final either. Need a rocket up their arse, these boys. Southampton. No one cares, do they? Where's Svensson? He's back now, if anyone wants to go for him. Irons. Can I interest you in a Svensson? Did he play last match? He did play last match and came off in the 55 minute. It's a shiny new Svensson for you here, mate. Mode. Delap's injured for 2 weeks with a... I'm not even going to say it. You know the answer. I don't believe it, Irons. He's on your bench, just lurking. Sunderland, 91% for Varga, 100% for Tome. Phillips, where's Arca? He's the other important one, isn't he? There he is, 99. All good. All cushy. Tottenham, Chris Parry is injured. Another defensive injury for Tottenham. This man has 20 for injury proneness, I believe. So owners at some point during the season have got pretty lucky because he hasn't been injured the whole season, which was a shock to me. But now he is. He's out for 10 days with a... We need a GIF. Fortune is out for 1 day with a bruised thigh. Finally, someone's got a different kind of injury. But it's 1 day, 90%, so he could play. Phillips, is he going to play? I imagine he'll get a start soon. He's a new signing and they usually throw them in, don't they? But they've just got so many players in that position. He's been on the bench and stuff. He'll probably play before the season's out, but knowing when that's going to be is impossible. Gus Poyet is 86% as well. Did I miss that? Yeah, Gus Poyet's 86. Simon Davies is 88. That's worrying as a Selakovic owner, because they could of course not play and then stick Selakovic in centre midfield again. Yay! Maybe this is the time for Wright Phillips, David Storm. At home to Arsenal. It's a good game to throw him into. So many unhappy people. I mean, this is why the reputation things in the games try and keep people happy, but you would have nearly the entire squad on this if they didn't occasionally throw other people in. Oh, Everson wants to move to a bigger club. It's a bit cheeky, isn't it? I think you find your shit, mate. Although he's done alright in our game. West Ham, ravaged by injury still. Doesn't matter. Still bang 3 goals at Leeds. Hayden Fox, 1 month. He's done. Kanute's 2 weeks. Carrick is 1 month as well. Todorov is 2 weeks with a chest injury. Defoe is at 48%. Few days with strained ankles, so he will not be playing. Kamara, 1 week, 90%. Technically could play, I guess. In terms of condition, though, everyone else is alright. Repka's okay. Cole's okay. Canio's okay. He's back from his suspension. So he probably comes straight in. And that's that, guys. That is the team. So in terms of injuries, I don't think there was too much. There's a few low condition. Obviously, Alan Shearer is the headline news. But it's not been bad injury-wise for the last few weeks. Most of you got away with it. There's only twats like me who are picking up reds for Melchior and Hippier to deal with. Which is annoying. No one else has been really... Well, I'll say no one else. People have got those players, haven't they? But to get that double, pretty annoying. But there we go. I'll quit moaning. I've had too much luck of late to moan. So what was I going to say? Right, so we saw it this week with Newcastle at home to a rubbish side. I haven't had any time to do any sims. I don't even know if I'm going to get time to do sims before the deadline this week, guys. Working 8 till 6 today, well, supposed to be today. Tomorrow, Friday. Highly unlikely I get a chance to do it. Only just picked up the file today for this, so wasn't aware of anything in advance, couldn't do anything in advance. The injuries are all fresh to me there as well, so I like to do them with injuries and stuff if I can. Luckily there's not many injuries, so it won't take too much time to tweak, so there's a chance I could get it out. But regardless of that, even if I don't get a chance to do sims, some of this stuff is kind of a little bit predictable. There are lots and lots of very good sides at home to very, very bad sides, so we all know what that means. Everton are pretty low rep. Villa at home, you can see some rotation here. Blackburn at home to Southampton, same thing. Bolton and Chelsea looks pretty safe for rotation, outside of the normal condition and just normal players that rotate. This is Fulham at home to West Ham. You could see it anyway because they've got the new manager, but it's also home to a bad side, so there's a chance there. Ipswich at home to Middlesbrough. Remember, Middlesbrough are incredibly low rep in this. Start off as a 12. Might have gone up to a 13 because of their season, but it's still low. Could see some rotation there for Ipswich. Leeds at home to Derby. That's massive alarm bells. I mean, I'm saying like this like we can do anything about it. We're probably just going to have to roll with what we've got. But I think there's a chance there. I mean, in previous times, Leeds, when they've done the rotation thing, I think it's been Kuehl and Hart that have mainly been affected. Doesn't mean that other people can't be. But they would be my concerns there. Liverpool at home to Charlton. Again, we saw this with Liverpool in the double they had, where they had 2 very easy home games. One was against Derby. I can't remember who the other one was against. Huncho was injured, and they still rested and rotated Hippier for both the games in a row. So I would worry about them at home to Charlton. You got Man United at home to Newcastle. Same thing. Could be a chance there. Home to a low rep side. And even Sunderland. Leicester are a low rep side and Sunderland are at home. So there's another chance there. Again, it's only a % chance, guys. I've got no idea whether it will actually happen. It's something around 5 to 10% of the time they can do it. Doesn't always have to be full teams like we've seen a few done. Could just be a few names here or there. But there is a lot of possibility for rotation this week, is all I'm going to say. I'm probably going to, for my own team, I'm not held happy with the fact that on my bench I'll probably be having Jensen, who, although he's done well this week, is away to Liverpool. I've got Chadwick, who probably won't even play, although could if they suddenly do a rotation. But I have to assume he's not playing. And then I've got Taggart away to Sunderland. So if any of my first 11 miss, I've suddenly got... I mean, Taggart's a decent player, but in an away game against Sunderland, probably won't be getting anything. And Jensen away to Liverpool, I put my house on him not getting anything. So I might make a transfer just to prop up my bench. Just in case. Rob's saying need a decent bench. I agree. So I think if you're looking to take hits or do anything, it's probably this week and get it out of the way. But then, you know, if you're taking hits to bring in one of the players who's likely to rotate and then they get rotated, you're going to hate yourself. Andy Martin saying captain has landed. Yeah, I don't want to scaremonger. It could be none, guys. Like I say, it's only a % chance. We could see absolutely none, but it's just something you have to be aware of, and can't be too upset if it happens. Is there anything else anyone wants to see? Any questions? Fire them into the chat. Rob Reed, is Grabby going to start? They play different formations now, don't they? I would have thought it will be their variation of the 3-5-2, where they push up the wing backs so they're actually a flat, and then they put one of the strikers goes down as an AMC. So I imagine he probably will, and it will be Janssen AMC with Grabby and Bent up top. Yellow card count and job security, says Andy. Let's do yellow cards first. Isn't the tightrope gone now? Roy Keane's on 9. Does that mean he gets a ban? 2-match ban starting, 10 yellow cards on the 24th. But it says he's only got 9. Can you explain that one to me, Andy? Or is this another ban he would get? How can he have 10 yellow cards if he's only got 9? The yellow card bug's in full force, I think, guys. FA Cup yellow, of course, of course. I don't think Phillips has missed any games yet. Let's click him. He's played 32. And we played 32. Not missed a single one. Ominous. Yeah, Max saying domestic cup. Yeah, you're right. It was me not thinking. Here's your player stats. Veron's still hanging on. Horizon's still there. Giggs. Franny Jeffers. Heskey. Goals. Viduka's on 28. Five more games. Phillips, I mean, usually if there's a red card in the game, they will sub Phillips rather than the other forward. I can't remember whether that's happened in this sim. In the first 6 or 7 weeks, Phillips didn't do anything. So it would probably be, if he's missed any minutes, he'll be in the red card games. Yeah, I've got a few of these on record for different teams. Over an 8 rating and different players, sorry. Over an 8 rating and goals. It's not particularly rare. It's just you don't know which one of the guys is going to do it. However, you can always be pretty sure that it's going to be one of Henry, Van Nistelrooy, Viduka or Shearer that do it. Van Nistelrooy's 22 in 27. Injury well over an 8. Phillips 19 in 32. Not quite as good. 7.72. Decent though. So Shearer's probably been better, but he's just played less. And Thierry Henry, obviously the 13 million puts you off, but again, high average rating. He's the man of the matches, the assists, everything. He's doing fine. And Rebrov, he had periods of injury and not doing much, but at points he's been good. And again, it's the man of the matches and assists that go with it that are pretty good. So Jason Yule's doing alright. I still think he's going to end the season pretty well. We go to midfielders for goals. Joe Cole, my man, has now finally overtaken Alan Johnston after his 8 goals in like the first 19 weeks, and then no one did anything. I think Joe Cole's been on about 8 goals for ages though. Tends to score or do nothing else. Yeah, he's generally like plays a 7, does nothing, or he hits a brace. It's kind of his thing. Fester with a 6. I think it's 5 penalties out of 6 there or something. Pretty sure it's like 5 penalties he scored. Yeah, 5 penalties he scored, so 1 from open play. Gotta love the penalties in this game. It could have happened for any one of these guys. Whether they just randomly add like a 5 to 10 goals on their season as a result of penalties. Job security. Palace, Grimsby, Oldham and Wimbledon have got no manager. No one in the Premier League is insecure. I don't think we'll see any more sackings now because it's just not enough time, is there? Poor Oldham. Home and away. Let's go home at the bottom. Goals conceded at home. Southampton 35. Tottenham 26. It's pretty bad. Fulham. Still at home defence. Leeds, Arsenal, Man United. Just don't really concede that many goals at home. Chelsea. Look at the starts of the season Chelsea had, guys. Said when the new manager came in, their defence would improve. 15 goals conceded all season at home, considering the first half was a total write-off. Away, nearly every team struggles to keep clean sheets away from home. Southampton 38 here, but actually Derby 39, West Ham 38, Charlton 36, Villa 34, even Leicester 36 goals conceded away. Leeds 32. That's worse than Fulham. Leeds' defence away from home is worse than Fulham. And you guys thought West Ham wouldn't score. Doesn't matter if they ain't got no strikers. Defence is woeful. So if you're playing Ian Hart in an away game, you are relying on an attacking return or bonus. That's all there is to it. And yeah, Man United and Arsenal, along with Liverpool, maybe Chelsea here, Middlesbrough, are the only defenders you really want to be playing away if you have to. All right, I think that's it, guys. Doesn't look like there's any more questions, so I think we'll end it there. Better get back to work. Click on Chelsea and Newcastle progress chart. Can't even remember how you do that. How do you do that? Where's Chelsea? How do you do that? Remind me. Is it here? Remind me how you do that, Andy. I cannot remember how you do that. Cheers, Marcos. Cheers, David. I can't remember for the life of me how you do that one. Go to the table and click on position. Right, I'm at the table. Click on 6th. Ah, okay. Yeah, I'm with you. There we go. Thanks, guys. Steady climb ever since, isn't it? Middlesbrough. They're an interesting one, aren't they? Liverpool. Gradually going back to where they should be. I think people ripped their season off. Blackburn as well, dreadful start. Sorted himself out. Sunderland, look at that. First 13 weeks, was it? Roughly, where Phillips has done virtually nothing, I assume. Leicester all over the place, surprising. Derby much the same. Villa lost their manager, didn't they, around here? So for first improved things, and then it's kind of levelled off. Charlton slowly dipping back down. Bolton the same. Everton much of muchness. Well, it was a solid 2 weeks from West Ham. That's all you need, though, innit? There we go, guys. Right, that is the goodbye. Catch you on the next one. This Sunday, I think I'm doing the stream again. I can't remember if it's with you, Andy, or with Dave, but it will certainly be one of them, and me, I think. So I shall see you on the next one. May your arrows be green and the rotation below. See you guys.